What's happening, everyone? And welcome to the Monday edition of the Systems Lab Live. Very excited to be with you all here tonight. We will excuse the bit of taughtiness that we've had tonight, but we are here nonetheless, and we have a full show to get into today. In fact, we are going to go straight into the show and tell portion of the show, in which we will talk a bit about some of the trends that are going on. And I'm going to bring up. I'm actually going to bring up the actual note that I have about this, because I think it's important that I share with you all how this is in particular how we're talking about here today. What's happening, everyone? Make sure that you drop your location, your name and your location, where you are logging in from. And also let's talk a little bit about what you are working on this week. What sort of projects that you are working on? Where is it? In fact, I want to even put this in the chat. Where is it that you are also stuck? A lot of times when we're coming into month 6 of the new year, we are working on projects that we worked on in the beginning of the year or even the beginning of this quarter. And so now we are at the point where we're doing a couple things. Number one, we're about to give up. Number two, things are going so, right? And we're sort of looking for direction. Or three, things are going pretty well. Pretty well. You're navigating things okay. But still, we want to make sure that we stay engaged at the Systems Lab Live. If you're here for the very first time, I welcome you, because this is the place and space where we are exploring how is it that we get the job done? How is it that we get our projects done and executed in an efficient manner? And so we come here each and every single Monday and Wednesday of the week to explore processes, technology, where we can improve and where we can collaborate best on a day-to-day basis. And in fact, the theme that we're in right now is called Everyday Work. And so this is really getting down to the bare bones, so to speak, of how we are working, how we are planning our work, how we're communicating about our work, how we're executing our work. And so I think this is a wonderful opportunity where we can actually peel back the layers of our process so that we can be able to effectively get what needs to be done. What's on that goal list? What's those projects that we're working on? Where is it that we're finding the hiccups? Where do we need to do some process improvement, things that we need to be focused on? So since the theme, one of the sub themes right now is on communication, I do want to share with you an article on Google Duo and Google Meet. And this is on Google's strategy to streamline their communication tools. We are probably all very familiar with Google Hangouts. That was sort of version 1.0. Google Chat as well. And this was back in the day, because I remember being in college and utilizing Google Chat. That was something that was really fun for me. Just you have Gmail and then you're chatting with your friends. And then there was Google Meet, or sorry, Google Hangouts, which was sort of like the next level version of Google Chat. But then over recent years, I will say this, that Google has done some interesting things with some of their products when it comes to Google Duo and Meet. And so this article I thought was super interesting, that is talking about bridging the gap, right? They are merging Google Duo and Google Meet. Now, Google Duo is an app that is sort of, I want to say this is like a walkie-talkie. And in fact, we're just going to go ahead and look it up, because I want to say that I downloaded Google Duo to speak with Android folks. So yes, Google Duo is a video chat mobile app developed by Google, released on Android and iOS. And this was on May 16th that it was talked about at the Google Developer Conference and released on August of 2016. So it's fairly new. So it is about 3 years old. Oh no, it's not 3. I'm sorry. 21. We're in 22. Okay. So it is about 4, 5, 6 years. It'll be 6 years old. It'll be 6 years old. And so it's a video calling app. So it works with Android, iPhones, tablets, computers, smart displays, and Google Nest Hub. So you can essentially make one-on-one phone calls by just pressing a button. You can create a group up to 32 participants. And actually, let me stop share, and so that you can actually see what I am looking at. So be a part of the bedtime, tuck them in with your favorite stories. You can do a group together. So this is probably what I would say is their answer to FaceTime. And you could actually send a note of voice or video with some fun effects, do some fun things with video calls, capture special moments. They have end-to-end encryption. So that's what Duo is. They say that changes to Duo are coming. This is probably what this article is talking about. Google Duo will be upgraded to include both video calling and meeting capabilities. So this will be, again, more of a security. There'll be more security features and whatnot will be here. And this article that was put together talks a little bit about, why is it that they are making this move. There's been some confusion in the past with Google Duo and Google Meet, and what is the relevance of each of these tools. And I think it's good that they are consolidating. So it says later this year, Google will rename Duo to Google Meet, which I think that makes a lot of sense. And if you see inside of the features, I'm actually going to see if I can scroll in just a tad bit. As you see in Google Meet is already in our Google products. So that we already have that in Google Docs, Sheets, and in Slides. So you can see a little icon up on the upper right. You can already see that Google Meet, that Google Hangout, or Google Meet rather, that icon, so that you can go click on it and actually meet about the document and share your screen. So this is great because, again, you can call a group of people. You can schedule something inside of Google Calendar, or you can just start a new meeting, and there's like a link that you can have. So what are some other interesting things that they are doing here? Let me see. But that's essentially what they're doing. So some of the features include scheduling video meetings, customizing virtual backgrounds, using in-meeting chat, live share events, and view real-time closed captions. You can have calls up to 100 participants, something that is already going on with Google Meet right now when you are inside of some of the Google products. And you can integrate with Gmail, Calendar, Assistant, and Google Messages. So let's see, what else are they talking about? That said, this is Google we're talking about, so it's probably just a matter of time before the company launches a different video calling app. So yeah, there's definitely some hesitancy on the ground for this, only because they've done a lot of transitions and things when it has come to their video app and chat. But since we're talking about communication and communication tools for this particular one of the themes of the series, it's important to look at what particular collaboration tools are going to work best for your team. So if you are already using Google products. This is probably going to be great for your team members to tap into, right? And so if you go back to some of the earlier lives, and I think what I'll do is I will just cut some of the Google product suite tutorials that I did, you'll begin to actually see how you can integrate different Google products together to share and to collaborate. But I think that it is time for Google to make that necessary plunge and to really settle on a particular app that's actually going to be all in one, that's going to be inclusive, and that is going to really help to centralize the communication for team members. So I think that is really, really, really important to make sure that we look out for that. Look out for that. Having an app, and then of course, when we were talking about last week, we were talking about async communication and synchronous communication. So asynchronous and synchronous communication. We know that synchronous communication is really emphasizes this real-time response, typically in a physical location. This is where we are wanting to know project status. We're wanting to know updates on particular tasks. We want to brainstorm in real time. Since the pandemic, we have shifted to all remote or hybrid as it's going right now. And so that means that there's been a heavy emphasis on async communication, which async communication really emphasizes the fact that we are collaborating and it does not have to be in real time. In fact, we're using collaboration tools to message one another despite the time zones, priority items, and things of that nature. We are really allowing for async communication to take place over project management tools like ClickUp, which we're going to do a download in just a few minutes on that. And we are absolutely going to look into what it means to assign tasks and what it means to collaborate in real time, but also in such a way where we do not have to have this aspect of hopping on various Zoom calls, right? We have a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of virtual space that is being taken up. And so I want to just review with you all 3 things that you can do to reduce Zoom meetings. So I want to make sure that we go over that. And I'm going to look at that and bring a couple of things over. So let me move this over to so I could be able to share my screen. We're going to share a screen. What's going on, Shonda? How are you? Hope you're doing well. You're from Teaneck, New Jersey. Teaneck, New Jersey in the house. We got the Houston Urban League in the building. Love the Houston Urban League and the Houston YPs. They are excellent. I so enjoy the work that they do. What's going on with Leek and Robert Dr.S? Okay. So let me also zoom in so that you guys can also see this as well, because I do think it's really, really important. I want to just kind of get a visual component to the 3. And I'm going to get some text right here. Oops. Nope. Here we go. Let's tease this out a bit, where we really want to the 3 ways that you can reduce Zoom meetings. I think this is going to be very impactful to people that are constantly on the phone or on the go. So with that said, 3 ways. All right, 3 ways that we can reduce Zoom meetings. Number 1 is daily stand-ups, daily stand-up meetings. This is something that I really advocate for. I believe in this wholeheartedly. I've talked about this in my content a whole lot. I'm a huge believer in having daily stand-ups. Now, again, you may not need to have it daily. It could be 3 times a week. That's something I do when I lead my team. It used to be 15 minutes. We did extend it to 30. But that's because work has picked up, and so we need to meet. Now, why do we meet, and what is actually what are the contents of that meeting? I'm so glad that you asked. So the daily stand-up meeting that we have, and we do have it over an app, right? Because it's a little bit better to communicate some of the more of the details, right? And just a little bit more of a, you know, visual format. So one of the things that we do, and you can do this again when you're communicating with your team in Slack or with ClickUp, this is what you can do. You can go around the table, the virtual table, and ask, what's everybody's focus for today? You can ask, what are some upcoming issues or issues that you are dealing with right now that is impeding the work that you're doing? And then also, what do you need? Communicating what you need is super important. And also, who do you need to get the work done? And also, too, what is at risk? So I'm going to write that down so that you guys can see this. So number 1 is the agenda that you're already going to have. And it's like a standing agenda. Number 1 is you're going to ask, what is everyone working on? Number 2, what task or project is at risk? What do you need? What or who do you need? What or who do you need? Okay. Because that's going to really help to solve it. Okay. So that's what we should look at. You're identifying what's everyone working on, what tasks or projects are at risk, who or what do you need. This then leads to the discussion of how you solve for that particular issue at hand. You should not leave that meeting without pinpointing a particular solution. Why is it should be either 15-minute meetings or 30-minute meetings, however that you want to have it. But what happens is that you can be able to zero in on these questions, make it very pinpointed, very focused, and no one is then sidetracked by anything that's distracting, right? So ask these 3 questions. You can automate this via Slack. You can set up an automation bot where you can literally ask this question inside one of the Slack channels every week or every couple of days, and then begin the conversation. You can do the same thing inside of ClickUp. You can do this inside of a team chat. You can absolutely do that. Now, I will have to double check because I'm pretty sure that you can't well, no, you can do some sort of automated reminder, but I do not believe you can do that within the chat feature. But you can do some sort of automated reminder task that basically says daily stand up, tags people, and then folks can start chiming in. But this is a great way for you as a leader and as other leaders on your team to stay plugged in and to stay engaged. Okay. So that is a strategy where you can reduce the number of Zoom meetings. All right. The next thing that you can do, let's see, copy and paste. The next thing that you can do is planning ahead. Planning ahead. Well, this is really important, this aspect of planning ahead. What we're looking at here is setting out time to understand your priorities and focus of the week. Oftentimes, we may be lost in where we are with our projects and what we need to be doing because we have not set aside time to plan ahead and look at our priorities for the week. So that is something that I want to make sure that we're looking at. We're looking at projects, we're looking at deadlines, right? That's what we're looking at. And identifying who you need and what resources. So similar to the Slacks and the stand up that we were just speaking of, when you're planning ahead for the week, when you're looking at what needs to be accomplished, set a time to understand your priorities and focus for the week. And that's going to force you to look at where am I in terms of deadlines and projects and priorities? Who do I need and what resources do I need? And I love that. I think that is super, super important. And then again, we will go to our last one, which is having good async and sync communication. Some folks, or some teams rather, they are embracing async communication. There will be times where you may need to have synchronous communication, where it's real time, where it is something where you really have to get information, phone call, Zoom, right? Where you have to meet. And so there's a balance that you should have between the two for sure. So that is what we are looking at when we are thinking about the 3 things you can do to reduce Zoom meetings. Okay. So now we are going to get to the main event. I'm going to stop the screen share and we are going to look at a project for sure. And we're going to look at ways that you can communicate inside of ClickUp. Let's give a round of applause to the leadership course that I created on behalf of someone. I do not know how to create a course, but shout out to the course director, Jose. But I do know someone that is near and dear to my heart of hearts, right? And I thought of her because I think it would be great if she had a leadership course, right? So I made this example up because I do think that looking at this from this perspective is really going to have all of us to understand when it comes to creating a course and you have a team that's helping you to do that. What are the communication tools that you should be aware of? What should you be aware of? Let me also hide this for a minute. Okay, good. Okay. So some key communication features that you should be aware of. Number 1 is the docs feature. And I'm going to go and look at the docs feature. I'm actually going to click here. Those of you that are not familiar with ClickUp, it is a project management tool. It is a course guide. I want to open this up. Okay, great. A project management tool in which you can manage and organize and execute your tasks. You have probably heard of some tools called Trello, tools called Notion, Asana, even Airtable, which is project management light, but that is a different discussion for a different day. But ClickUp is also a project management tool where you can manage yourself if you're a solopreneur, or manage a team, manage. And again, this is also, this is not just for one particular industry. It's practically for almost anyone can use it. Nonprofits, schools can use it, professors can use it, e-commerce. There's a lot of different use cases out there. And definitely coaches, those that have coaching companies, this would be a great opportunity for you to utilize ClickUp. And they have this feature, which is one of my favorites, called the Docs feature. What I like about the Docs feature is that you can create wikis, onboarding guides, project management plans, and this is also a great communication tool to document the process. So here's one way that we could do this. We could actually go to course creation management plan. And I'm actually going to make a table of contents. Table of contents. I do not, okay, now what is a sticky table of contents? Add headings to create the table of contents. Okay, here we go. Thing one. Oh, I see what's going on here. Um, Purpose and background. Let's see. Outcomes. Oh, I love that. I love this already. Okay. Oh, I see. I put this as a let's actually go with, I'm gonna do this. So ooh, I know. We are gonna go with goals and KPIs. Okay, so we're outlining the table of contents for this, right? And I'm gonna go and do another H2, and I'm going to say course outline. And then I'm gonna go with this one that goes with H3, chapter or module 1, uh, module 2. Maybe I should just I'm gonna copy and paste this. Module 3, module 4. And actually, even inside here, I'm actually going to do a toggle, and I'm gonna say, here's the title, and inside, and then I'm gonna say purpose of module 1, and then content outline. And then I'm gonna copy and paste this whole thing right here. Module 2, module 3. This is exciting, y'all. So now we've created a little plan, y'all. We've created like a little plan. But what's great about this is we can communicate to our team members. So perhaps I'm going to add this right here, and I'm going to actually add somebody. And am I going to add me? I guess I can add me. We're just going to add this person. And this can be like a comment where you can also, wait a minute, I think what I want to do here. Oh, here we go. You can, oops. I'm going to put a comment right here and I'm going to say, can you start outlining ideas for module 1? This is pretty cool. And then we've already done that. And then I can start mentioning a task. I'm actually going to browse this task and this leadership course, right? And I'm going to actually put this right here, course development, right here. Love this, y'all. This is super cool. Look at this. And if I wanted to, I can attach a file if I wanted to. Look at this. I'm going to put a little emoji right here. And I'm going to put a comment. So what we're doing right here is that, again, when we're looking at this from that perspective of how best can I communicate with my team members, documenting what the purpose is of the actual course, the scope, the goals, the outline. You can start right here with assigning tasks and communicating with your team members about what should be done. I think this is genius. I just really love it. So inside here is where, and I'm going to get an email that's already, that's already automated. And so I can come right here and start to fill in the document. So this could be literally this living, breathing document, this course management plan is really going to be the brainstorming and working guide. So as we are developing this, we can go into this task right here, and I'm going to click right here, and it's going to take me to course development. And this is where, again, this is a relational reference right here. This is what was so cool about what ClickUp can do, is that there are some references, right? Where if I've mentioned something in that document, it's going to plug it in right here. So all I have to do is, I know that I'm developing module 1. Let me go inside here and start working on all of these all the module checklist items right here. So since we are also inside of the task, I think this is really key. I can then begin to collaborate with others, maybe a watcher, maybe another assignee, and like I'm going to add somebody, at Walter, and I can then say, can you review the background, title, and purpose of module 1? What do you think? What do you think? Inside of the task of ClickUp, this is actually where you're going to spend a lot of time doing your work. This is where you can have conversations, you can add attachments, you can create automations in here. This is where I'm already adding Walter. Then I can go back into this document, and I'm actually going to go back to the document, and I'm just going to go back to this one right here, and I'm gonna get to work. Walter's gonna work on this stuff. He's going to I've already done module 1. So I'm going to, write some information in here. So this is where, I can have the title, which is how to stay organized. So he's going to review that to provide 3 key strategies on how to stay organized. And then I'm actually going to do a bullet point. Bulleted list. And in the bulleted list, I'm going to put here strategy 1, strategy 2, and strategy 3. Okay. So Walter's going to come here and he's going to review it and he will get back to me when it is completed. When it's completed. Anyone have any questions so far? Questions so far on this? Questions so far? Let me know. So to recap what we're looking at, this is the docs feature within ClickUp. This is where you can create wikis, how-to guides, a handbook, a content creation plan, a client avatar, course management plan. This is where you can collaborate with others. So also too, did you notice that we were not in email? Number 1, nor were we on a Zoom call. I can effectively work and do my work effectively while Walter is doing his tasks. Once I'm done, he can check this out and then get back to me. That's what's lovely about this whole thing. That is what is lovely about this. If there is comments that Walter wants to make, he can say, Ashley, need more clarity on the purpose. Okay. So that is what Walter is going to be saying to me. I love this aspect of it because, again, once this is completed, we can literally resolve the comment. The reason why I did the 3 dots because I wanted to see what the options were. So a couple of things. Again, there's so many little nuances within ClickUp. It's like out of this world. You can send this to your inbox to remind you to look at this task. Like you can literally say, I want to look at this comment tomorrow at 10 a.m. And a reminder has just been created, which is beautiful. A reminder has just been created. Again, things that where we don't have to have decision fatigue about remembering what it is that we need to do. Make sense? Make sense? Anyone have any comments? But make sense of what we're looking to do? I'm telling you, the collaboration is out of this world with this tool. So there are a couple things right here. You see open, then you have assigned it to me, and then resolved. What things are resolved, right? I'm actually going to assign this one to myself, and then it's going to say assigned to me. So that is definitely where we want to look at. I also can change the status of this to go to started. So now we know that the process has been started of the course development. And I'm going to change the status right here that this is being developed right now. So We talked about the docs. I want to explain a little bit about inside of the task. And let me go out of this. I'm going to close this out. We're going to go back to list. So what you're looking at right here is this is a project. This is a list view of ClickUp. And this is where the project can be planned, organized, and executed. So what I've done here is I have a series of tasks that have not been started. We've started one, and then I have phases. So one of the things that, and I'm going to actually go to Kanban view, which is Kanban view is one of the agile methodologies and things. So we can, we're going to get into that later. The board view is more visually pleasing to people. And so what you're seeing here is you're seeing the statuses. This is started, and this will go to client review, and then this will be closed. So the statuses are simple: started, not started, started, client review, and closed. This is what we would call a workflow, a series of actions and steps where we are literally moving tasks from status to status, from phase to phase. Now, what I always like to do is I like to actually have project phases. Okay. And so this is really important for more of the waterfall methodology of project management, where we are looking at it from the perspective of what is in that initiation phase when we're talking about that pre-planning phase, when we're in the early stages, the planning, the execution, the actual refining of it, and then the closing of the project itself. So one thing that I'm going to do too is I'm actually going to group this by custom field, by project phase. And what this does is that we're going to be able to see in terms of the groundwork, what phase that we're in. The groundwork is when we're really like, we're in the beginning stages. Course discovery process, establishing the budget, what's the resources, developing the high level scope of the course, identifying the deadline for completion, identifying the KPIs. This is in fact information that could be put into that course management plan. Perfect opportunity to have a meeting or two focus all on the groundwork. And if you are developing this course with clients, then what you'll do is you will have a kickoff meeting where you will develop a slide deck and also have approval with your client. All these tasks are not started, but this is the perfect opportunity to do just that. Course discovery. So when you're in the course management plan and you are going over all of these items, what could be referenced? I'm just going to have right here. You could actually reference a task. Hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. Course discovery right here. Right here is course discovery. So you mentioned this right here. Open this up. And start to have that conversation. Establish a budget, resources. And then if you actually need to meet with one another, there's an integration that Zoom has within ClickUp. You can actually start a Zoom meeting where you can actually start a Zoom if you need to. So you can start a Zoom meeting right within that particular task. So you know what needs to be discussed. And then you can also take notes as well. But this is the type of communication that you can have inside of ClickUp. Something that can really, let's stop sharing. The little Zoom thing was popping up. But this is the type of work that you can do with inside of ClickUp. Again, talking, researching, masterminding without being on Zoom. Also, you're not even in Slack yet, right? But even if you wanted to talk with somebody about it, you could do one or two things. Again, the comment, or I'm going to actually add the chat feature. And this is where we can invite team members to start to talk about what's happening. In fact, you could actually do a sync in here. You could do something where you say, "Great morning, everyone. How is everyone doing?" Again, this is also a matter of preference as well. Some people prefer to do all this in Slack because they'll get more of the notifications. Agenda topic 1. What is everyone working on? Any issues? What needs to be resolved at the task? Who has updates on course discovery? Boop. Someone could, I love this, the emojis. Like the comment, put a little reaction. Again, one task mentioned right here. Organizing your communication, streamlining your communication. You're working. You could be eating breakfast, right? Communicating and working on your tasks at hand. All right, folks. We will just go ahead and pause right here because Wednesday we're going to be doing dashboards and talk about how you can meet with your team using dashboards. But that's all that we have for tonight. Thank you all for hanging on, and definitely share this live stream with 3 people who need it. I definitely want to invite you all to connect with me. Definitely connect with me. Hashtag live 626-722-5444. If you want to know, if you want to be notified of when I go live, definitely plug in there. If you for sure want to know a little bit more about ways that you can engage your team and streamline your communications, your projects, definitely tap in with me for a ClickUp VIP day. Text VIP to 626-722-5444. And this is where you can talk with me just one-on-one. No pressure. We're just having a conversation about how you use ClickUp and what exactly is the VIP day about. And we can just talk there about what are some of your struggles. What are some of these things that you are really looking to look at and really looking to streamline. So thank you all once again. I am definitely going to issue out a challenge of the week. I definitely will do that. And I'm going to have you guys, if you would like to embark upon the challenge of the week, this is where we, take a single action item, right? And implement it. The Systems Lab is not just about we just learn and that's it. We put together something we definitely do that. So I want you to outline 3 opportunities that you can improve your communication with your team, and tell me about them. 3 opportunities where you can improve team communication. So text #live to 626-722-5444 to talk with me about that. I'd love to hear about how you are going to streamline your communication. That's it. That's what we have today for the live show. Thank you guys so very much for engaging with me tonight. And we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for Team Dashboards and Communication inside of ClickUp. Thank you guys so much, and talk soon.